All right, hello Tide fans. Welcome to Tide Talk. I'm your host, Sean Taylor, here with my two buddies, Mo, Jimmy. Got a lot to talk about. A lot of text conversation taking place over the past few days, especially during Saturday's game.
Yes, we do.
At the end of the day, I'm going to make the statement now. Road win, SEC. I'll take it any way we can get it. Wasn't pretty, but not what we're accustomed to, but we'll take it. Maurice, as requested, I'm going to pass it to you.
Welcome
Maurice,
to the...
Maurice, remember, we talked about this.
Are we going to keep doing this every week or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you keep showing up. Welcome to the suicide hotline. Don't jump. Everything's fine. We're going to be all right. Y'all were panicking and so forth. I was there. I was calm as a cucumber. So, no worries.
Lies.
I wasn't. I was sitting amongst Florida people, so I wasn't going to say too much. So, even though they were getting a little overzealous.
Were you ever concerned? I mean, truthfully?
No, not really. I thought there in the second half, I was like, yeah, I could see them cutting through our defense. I just didn't think in the essence of time, and our offense was doing okay. I didn't think that they really had enough time.
I'll tell you what I said to a friend of mine, a colleague at work today. I really didn't panic because I felt like we could score. Mm-hmm. Now, I was concerned about the defense with reason, right, but I felt like we could score. And so I didn't really kind of freak out. I mean, I wasn't in panic mode yet. Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm not on that ledge yet either. Now, are there some concerns? Of course there are. But I'm like you, even when we started losing that lead, and man, they got kind of control of what was going on and what was happening.
Took the momentum.
Yeah, got the momentum. I mean, for whatever reason, I still felt confident too. Like, yeah, we got this. Whether when we really needed that score, we got it. When we really needed that stop on the 2-point conversion, we got it. And so yeah, I just kind of felt kind of a calm, if you will, knowing that we were going to win the game. Was it certainly a lot closer than I expected? Absolutely. But
yeah, we all missed with respect to the predictions, and I agree. I mean,
I'm just reading Jimmy's text from Saturday.
Right.
I'm not saying that he's not telling the truth right now.
You need to get your bleeper ready then if he's reading it word for word.
Right. I'm not going to read it.
I mean, listen, and
this is to say it didn't say Happy Saturday.
Here's one thing that we've mentioned prior to rolling the tape. But you do have to give credit to Florida. Listen, we come out and hung 21 on them in a hurry and looked like national champion contenders. And then all of a sudden, listen, Emory Jones throws the pick, and then after that, played a close to perfect football game. I mean, the guy was really good. They made some adjustments, whatever you want to call it, even before halftime. And then even at halftime, they made some more adjustments. But we come out like gangbusters, and I'm thinking this is about to get ugly, like everyone else probably thought. And then we go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? But you do have to give some credit to Florida. Number 11 team in the country. Just like I always say to my brother who's complaining about we're terrible, fire that kid, he needs to be benched. They have D1 players too, and so credit to Florida for holding up on the ropes when we threw those knockout punches and, stayed in the game.
Well, everybody forgets Dan Mullen is one heck of an offensive mind. Mm-hmm. He's not as, I guess, high profile as Lane Kiffin is, but
right.
As I was talking to some people pregame, he had Mississippi State at number 1 for the first time ever for about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Years ago when Dak Prescott
was a quarterback.
And it wasn't all because of Dak. He's the one that developed Dak Prescott. So he is a really good offensive-minded coach. So if he sees a weakness, as a former OC, you attack.
Try to exploit
constantly.
it.
Yep.
Try to exploit it.
And that's what he did. And he saw it in our linebackers.
And they continue to do it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you and I were talking about, though, Jimmy. And I know we'll discuss this as we go forward. Man, I don't think we ever adjusted to it.
Not that I saw. But the fact that we jumped out on them 21-3 on the road, place was nuts because you can attest to that.
Yes.
And felt like again just it was over. That's a glimpse of what we see with this team and what we've seen the first couple of games is how we can be really good team, and not that we aren't, but you know what I'm saying? It's I don't know, man. That consistency is just not there right now, and I guess that's really the biggest concern is just where the consistency is.
I don't know about you guys. I'll give you my kind of 2 cents about that. There's some youth in there that we've had to replace some number 1 draft picks on both sides of the ball. I mean, listen, that was Bryce Young's first SEC road game as a starting quarterback, and the Joker comes out and throws 3 on the first 3 possessions, those 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Looked really good. Not that he looked. Everybody keeps talking about, he's got to run it, he's got to run it, he's got to run it. I think there are times when I'd like to see him run it, but I'm still not upset with the fact that he looks downfield.
I mean, like on that 3rd down where he could have walked into the end zone?
Right.
Yeah, Saban talked about that after the game.
Right.
Yeah. And I promise you, I'm pretty sure that the coaches are saying, do not cross the line of scrimmage, we need you.
See, that's exactly what I was about to say. The fact that
copycat.
We don't. The backup, we're still questioning our backup. So maybe they're telling him going into the game, look, dude. Don't take a chance.
Let me throw this question out there. This is for both of you, not for anybody specifically.
Is there a time? Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's what I know. I know that a lot of times when I was an OC, we may not run something just not to give the other team footage to prepare for. Okay? Not that him running is something, necessarily an organized play, if you will, or a drawn up play, but the fact that he can run the football, and he can, we saw it the one time where, 3rd and long, and he picks up 12 yards, I believe, to pick up a first down.
So first down.
He is capable. Is he not doing it right now because he really hasn't had to? And again, that's a question, because up 21-3, against Miami, never really a question. Against Mercer, never really a question.
Well, first of all, I don't care how big the quarterback is. I personally don't ever like to see a quarterback run because they got you back there to throw and to lead the team. So if you get hurt, you're no good to us. I'm glad that JoJo Earl is on the team because that way he's not the smallest guy on the team. There you go.
Remember the name, JoJo Earl. I'm telling you, it's coming, Tide fans.
Okay. Yeah, but do you have some type of relationship with this kid? Anyway, I'll get on Mr. Earl later. But Bryce Young is too small to be putting himself at risk. And that slide that he did the other day,
we need to work on the slide.
Okay. Yeah, that was an ugly attempt at it. But he got the first down, so I'm happy with it. But he could have walked in for the touchdown. So anyway.
A lot of things we're going to dissect. I mean, we know it's coming. You still have to look at a team that it was truly their first test. Okay, Miami, Mercer, no. Truly their first test. It looked like we had prepared really well, and then it all of a sudden looked like, and Saban mentioned it, we became an average team. All of the questions as to why are coming. I don't have the answer. I don't know why. I don't know why we got vanilla on offense. I don't know why we appeared to not make adjustments on defense. We were very, very predictable. You and I kept talking about it the whole game. When I know what we're going to do, and
when I know what we're going to do.
Even more so, I was going to say that, but he kind of stole my thunder.
Yeah.
But when Jimmy knows more of what then we're in trouble. But then the flip side, I knew what Florida was going to do. And it didn't look like our defensive coordinator.
Well, it's easy to know what they're going to do because it kept working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot to talk about. I know there's a lot to dissect. I know that's coming. So let's take a short break, and it's going to be short. We're going to get right back in it, and we're going to dive in. So hold your seats, Tide fans. We'll be right back with Tide Talk.
Hey, Big Al, you need to be staying 6 feet away from me. And haven't I told you you have to wear a mask when you're in this building?
I mean, come on, Big Al. We're supposed to be practicing social distancing, which means we have to be 6 feet away from each other. Don't worry, Big Al. We've all been there before, buddy. Let's go get you a mask.
All of us want to make sure we play football this fall. And to make that happen, we must be sure we stay at home if we have symptoms, wash your hands often, follow all social distancing guidelines, and please wear a mask anytime you're around other people.
All right, welcome back, Tide fans. As promised, a lot to dissect, a lot of questions. Why didn't we make adjustments? How did we get vanilla on offense? Maurice, I think there's a couple of things you want to point out.
Yeah, every time that I watch the game, usually I would kind of run it back and just kind of go over things that I think are keys. And I have said over the course of a couple of years, Jimmy, that there are some schematic things and also some fundamental things. So, Chris, our stage director, if we could go back to 6:42 to that play, you'll see right here. All right. On this play that's 4th and 6, we've got Drew Sanders covering a wide receiver. First of all, I don't agree with that. Now the problem is you are not facing the quarterback. You're not turning your hips and turning your head. And then they come back with this little delay draw and run it right. What I have a problem with here is poor tackling. It's not even tackling, it's grabbing. That's why this running back, who extremely fast but not that powerful of a runner, is able to run it in from that far out. So now here's my biggest problem. Let's go to the last play. Chris, if we can go to the last play of there, here we go, third quarter. Yeah, freeze it, stop, freeze it, okay. If you see at the bottom of your screen out there on a wide receiver, you know who that is?
Where?
The bottom of your screen, right above the word
Christian Harris.
That's Christian Harris. Now, if you go back to the second man on the goal line, that is DeMarco Helms, a safety. Now, why, I'm just going to ask a question, why do we have a linebacker on a wide receiver and a safety that's supposed to fill the gap? It's a great mismatch for Dan Mullen. He knows it. You'll see this tackle come out and easily block our safety, boom, and just run it in. Henry To'oTo'o is playing the worst game of his career so far at Bama, and they get blown off the ball. Those are some of the key things that I have a problem with. And again, To'oTo'o right there. You're not even really involved in the play. I mean, so I have a problem with the actual scheme. I don't understand why you would have a linebacker sprint out to cover a wide receiver when they should have switched off. Because as soon as they see a safety come up, well, I'm just going to run it.
So here's my comment. Chris, if you could run that back to the start of that. Here's what I think, Maurice. I think that's actually a running back, and that's the reason Christian Harris goes out. However, I know, and I think everybody in the stands knows, that they're sending him out there to get rid of a linebacker.
But what should you have done?
I think we bump and make an adjustment. That's what I would do.
Exactly.
I would have bumped that safety that's in the end zone. I'd have bumped him over there,
right,
and I'd have brought Christian Harris back into the middle of the field. Again, man, if he can make that throw,
right,
they deserved it.
God bless
Touchdown. But if they're going to run a 165-pound quarterback right at us and score from the 5-yard line.
Now, when I saw this live the other day, the first thing that I thought of, and I thought the exact opposite, I said mismatch. They're going to go to this guy. He's going to throw it to that guy that was spread out. But actually it created another void, and as you see, it just ran it right up the gut. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be one of these Auburn people out here that's going to complain about the referees
or
blame anything on the refs.
Go back to that, Chris, if you don't mind.
Is that not holding on Drew Sanders?
It is. I mean, look.
I'm not saying, and I'm guessing he probably could make the tackle, at least have a chance to, but when you get and grab like this and turn sideways.
By a 350-pound offensive lineman.
I mean,
here's the problem that I have, Maurice.
But anyway.
Here's the problem that I have.
Nobody's holding
the guy has not beat us throwing the football deep. Not yet.
Right.
In that situation, that is from one hash to the other side of the field which is a very long throw.
Yes.
I'm going to make him make that throw to beat me or to score. I'm not going. This is the University of Alabama.
Right.
You don't let someone just a 160-pound quarterback just run up the middle on you.
Let me play Pete Golding's defense attorney. What if it was a missed call by the defense to say, DeMarco, you're out. You're spread out. You switch off. I don't know. I don't think so. Because they acted like that this is how they normally run it. There was no massive confusion or whatever. But, I mean, it very well should have been.
Well, here's what I've been. We don't know the answer to that. I just know that a simple mind like me, I'm going to make the guy do something that he's not been doing,
Right.
beat me.
Right. Now, there was a play, Chris, I don't know if you've got it, and I hate to throw it on you, but when we had them at the half-yard line, their half-yard line, before the 99.5-yard drive, and I hate to pick on number 2, DeMarco, but it was a bad series for him. He made the break on the ball, allowed a first down when it was 3rd and long, which extended. We could have easily have had the ball back in our own territory.
Yeah.
It was a mental lapse. I don't understand what you're doing as a safety in that type of coverage when all you have to do is make the tackle.
Right. Tackle the guy for a 6-yard gain and they're punting out of their end zone.
Yeah.
You had extremely bad. It was a very bad angle. The one thing of a safety is always you got to have the angle. You always have to make the right angles. And you made a poor.
I agree 100%, Maurice. I just, I don't know. Again, we don't know the answers because we're not there. But for me, I mean, when you got a team 3rd and 10 at the half-yard line,
Yes.
I mean, watch. Did you see Georgia Saturday night when they had South Carolina deep in their territory and they brought the house? They let their athletes man up, play press coverage. They brought the house, and I just don't see us playing with that attitude, that Alabama confidence that says we're either going to sack you in the end zone for a safety, or we're going to hold you and make you punt, and we're going to get the football again.
But again, if Helms plays the receiver and tackles him for a 5-yard gain, we're not even having this conversation about that.
But here's my problem with that. What we just said. Why is Helms, who is a DB, who is a safety, why is he playing with such pad?
I don't know.
Why did we give him that much pad? I mean, and if for those of you that may not know, pad is the cushion between the defensive player and the receiver. I mean, it was 3rd and 10. Yes, you want to play them in front, keep them in front. But he was 6 yards away from the guy when he caught the football. So he had to come up hard and just blew the tackle.
Again, I think that's coaching. To your point, their quarterback who played a heck of a game running the ball, and this little option also killed us most of the day too, little RPO. I would have sent 4 or 5 to get him some happy feet, and then tell your DBs just tackle the guy in front of the down marker or the
I kept waiting for us, like me and Sean kept talking, for us to throw a bunch of people in the box and see if he could throw the ball and see if our defense, our DBs
he would have been, to me,
could,
the perfect quarterback to test. If you want to run a bump,
Agree 100%.
then make him
Agree
make him
100%.
beat you.
Make him throw.
He was not known as a great passing quarterback. And so, hey, we'll take a short break. We'll come back and talk about some of those things again. But I do agree there's a lot of things still, questions out there. We didn't play a great game. You watch some of the replays. We're dropping balls. Mechie dropped a couple balls that, that are big play balls now that we generally don't see that. And so there's a lot of things that what if and that sort of thing. But we're spoiled Alabama fans.
Well,
We're spoiled
doubt.
Alabama
I
fans.
don't think. And I'm sorry. I know we're short on time, but Saban's press conference today, he also talked about the wide receivers and them not. I don't say them not stepping up, them not playing to their potential.
Well, he's been saying it all year. He's been saying it all year. If we can get the people playing around Bryce Young to play with Bryce Young, we'll be okay. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back and dissect it a little bit more. Hold your seats, Tide fans. We'll be right back with Tide Talk.
College football fans and players both want full stadiums this fall. Let's make sure we can safely make this happen by getting vaccinated. Please get your COVID-19 vaccine. We want Bryant-Denny Stadium loud again this coming season. Roll Tide.
All right, welcome back, Tide fans. Segment 3, we're gonna pause for a minute. We're gonna go to stats with Jimmy. Jimmy,
right now?
Yep, right now. I'm throwing, throwing you out there really quick.
Okay.
I don't know how great they're going to be, but we're still.
Let me get ready, Tide fans.
No, hey, we have.
That don't
mics.
work. Okay.
Oh, he's got his own?
We have mics.
It's BYOL.
So, wow, stats with Jimmy. Okay, let me get this ready. All right, so this week, Tide fans, we're just going to talk about where we are in conference play. Okay. I was kind of interested to see where we were overall in conference play. So, we'll start on the offensive side of the ball. Right now, total offense, we are averaging 416 yards a game. We've had over 1,200 yards passing, over 800 yards rushing. That is good for 10th in the conference. I'm not even going to tell you who all's ahead of us. And then, let's see.
9 other teams, we know that for sure.
Total defense. Right now, we're giving up, and let me find it here. I think we're so far down the line. 313 yards a game, 941 through the air, 528 on the ground. That puts us at 9th in the conference.
So we're doing better.
So, and I remember, and I know again, this is a small sample, 3 games in, but I remember last year we were 1 on offense and 1 on defense, if you remember correctly. Right now we're just lower third of the conference in overall offense and defense. This was an interesting stat that I pulled up. Sacks. Again, we had 2 of the best defensive ends we thought in the country, or in the league especially. We lost one, we know. But sacks, we've sacked the quarterback in 3 games 8 times, which puts us at 8 overall. Any idea who's leading the conference in sacks right now?
Auburn.
Texas.
LSU. 17 sacks.
Well, McNeese
Now,
is a formidable opponent.
Exactly. And then, of course, turnover margin, we are number 1. Hey, there we go. We are number 1 in turnover margin. Penalties. Here we go. This is what I want to get to. This
Are we
is
not
my
number 1 in
favorite.
penalties?
This is my favorite. What we talked last week, there was 14 teams in the conference, and we were 12th.
Yeah.
Well, now we're 13th. Averaging a little over 84, you might as well say 85 penalty yards per game for a grand total of 13th in conference. I mean, that is one we have got to fix.
Gotta correct.
I'm just telling you, we got to fix that. So anyway, there you go, Tide fans.
And it's on both sides of the ball.
Obviously.
I mean, it's on both sides of the ball. As I said, man, I wasn't in panic mode. I felt like we could score. I still think there's a lot to show from an offensive perspective. I think there's plenty of fuel left in the tank. Mm-hmm. So
one thing, I'm sorry, talking about the offense, we hadn't really talked about them this week so far. We had a couple of things snapped. One, as far as how many, scoring over 35 points, a game, that streak was snapped. Actually, gaining over 400 yards in a game streak was snapped this past week. But man, where are the explosive plays on that side of the ball? We didn't have a game this past week for over like 20 yards. When is the last time that happened to an Alabama offense?
We actually only had 1 pass completion over 20 yards.
Right. I mean,
meaning the ball was thrown over 20.
So, and I know again we're young on the receiver side, but we still have 2 guys that are pretty good. Quarterback again, we feel like is going to be really good. So why aren't we stretching that? Why aren't we throwing the ball down the field more? I mean, what's up with that?
Again, man, I'm just going to tell you, why show something that you don't have to show yet? I don't know. I'm not saying that's the answer. I just know that we come out in the first 3 possessions and we score 3 touchdowns. We throw 3 passing touchdowns. You know, we go up 21-3, and I'm not saying we quit, but you do have Ole Miss coming up in a couple weeks. And you know that's going to be maybe the toughest game we play all year. Why show everything? Why do you need to do that?
Maybe because you're a 2-point conversion away from going into overtime on the road.
Listen,
Did
I
that
agree.
stop us from going over the top last year? I mean, Mac Jones was just. I mean,
Yeah, but you're talking about having the Heisman Trophy winner, you know, another first-round draft pick in Jalen Waddle early in the season. You know, Mac Jones, who's, you know, number 3 in the Heisman. An offensive line that was secure and set, you know. So there are several reasons why. We're still trying to figure out what we're doing on the front 5 of the offensive line. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of missed assignments.
right side's got to get better. Have I said that yet this year?
A lot of missed assignments. I mean, so there are reasons. I don't know if those are the exact reasons. Those are just my opinion, things that I believe could be possibly the case. But obviously, when you go up 21-3, there's no reason to show some stuff that you don't need to show.
Well, yeah, but if you keep scoring, I can see your point. But I think, to me, the strategy somewhat changed as far as dumping out of the backfield, setting up the run, gaining about 6 or 7 yards. We just seemed like we completely abandoned.
Well, we went away. You know, Jimmy and I were talking. You know, we went away from the run.
Right.
You know, we run on first down, and we pass on second and third.
Well, we did away with that, you know, when Lane Kiffin came on board. And this was, what, the 8th time in the Saban era where we didn't rush for over 100 yards in a game? So,
And I felt like we could have ran. If we
I felt
wanted
like
to.
we could have too, especially on the left side of the line. If you notice, when we had to get yardage, when we had to pick up a first down, when we run to the left side of the line.
Well, perfect example. 3 minutes to go in the game. They just scored. We held them on the 2-point conversion. There's 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. We have to figure out a way to run that clock out, and we ran it 6 straight times. I think 4 of those was on the left side. 3 straight times got a first down. You know, so again, I felt like if we would have wanted to run the ball a little bit more, we could have. But why we didn't, I don't know.
Let's don't lose sight of the fact. I mean,
That was that play, by the way.
great game, great atmosphere. We did what we wanted to do and take the crowd out early. They made some adjustments, got themselves back in the game. But guys, as I said, it's a win. It's a SEC road win, and we're still 3-0. We're still number 1 in the country. We got an opportunity to improve. We play a team that we should be able to manage this coming week in Southern Miss. Should be able to manage them. Should get some guys some playing time. Should work on some things. Got plenty to work on. And get ready for an absolute showdown against Ole Miss
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
and another thing about the game, Hill's Barbecue in Gainesville did a wonderful job of catering the tailgate. It was delicious. Thank you.
All right.
Anyway.
So
I'm sorry, kind of digress.
this game against Southern Miss. Let's go ahead and go to predictions. Listen, at the end of the day, not a lot to talk about. It's Southern Miss. We're supposed to win the football game. We're playing with a little bit less confidence based on how we played this past weekend. I don't think there were too many injuries. We probably have some bumps and bruises that comes with any SEC football game. What's your thoughts, predictions?
They're playing with their second team quarterback. The first one's out, injury, I believe. The line is 44.5. Come Monday next week, this time Jimmy's going to start his webpage of Bryce Young for Heisman, so we blow them out, and Jimmy gulps and overdoes the Kool-Aid. So we'll win 57-10.
57-10.
Yeah, if there was ever a week for us to look like the old Bama teams from the past, then it's this week.
Old? It's been. Come on. Get away from the ledge.
We should handle them pretty easily. We'll score something like what he said, 50-something to a little bit.
I agree, especially after not performing as well as we would have liked, not finishing the game the way we would have liked. I believe there'll be a little more focus on that. I believe that we'll work on some things. 58-7, 55-7, something like
I
that.
said 57-10, and both of y'all just right around me, aren't you?
55-7.
Only because you got to go first.
But agreed, Jimmy. This is, and here's the thing. So that people will get away from the ledge, we need to have that game. Didn't really have it against Mercer. People are throwing questions. People are concerned. Played subpar against Florida.
Right.
People are on the ledge. We really need to come out and have that game.
Can I tell you one thing that will help this team?
Please.
A loss. That's going to be in his help with Saban in the past. I'm not saying I want us to lose, because everything this year in the whole country, and especially the SEC, is going to be very tight. But I think that's the only thing that's going to get a lot of these players' attention.
Well, did you hear what he said? Was it a week or so ago about respecting or something to do with the memory of a loss or that sort of thing? I mean, nobody wants to lose,
Right.
but I don't disagree with you.
Right.
I'd love to see us run the table, but I don't disagree with you. So we'll see. We'll see how practice goes this week. We'll see how our guys show up and decide if they want to play.
And FYI, Alabama's won more national championships with a loss than they have going undefeated. There's my stat.
Oh, nice
Appreciate
stat.
you.
That is a nice stat. All right, so Tide fans, join us again right here next week on Channel 207. And hopefully we'll be celebrating another victory, going 4-0 against Southern Miss. All right, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.